Hi, I am Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel. Don't forget to watch Evil Dead Chick on Deadites on Deck on YouTube. Oh, and subscribe, man!
My name is Poe. I am the official mascot of the Deadites on Deck Horror Shop. Come, take my claw. Oops, mind the slime. Let me show you around the horror shop. What's that? I don't like horror? Well, let me show you some of the cool stuff we have over here.
Take you back. Let's rewind that old horror film. What's that in the background? Something is out of place. Someone shouldn't be there. That line is odd. That reflection is misplaced. Let's have fun finding all the mistakes in our favorite horror films. Let me take you back. Let's rewind that old horror film.
Howdy, gang, and welcome to yet another horror movie rewind that actually has a Halloween theme to the movie. This is not Trick or Treat. This is Trick or Treat from 1986 with cameos by Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne. So we're going to get to that in just a little bit, but I forgot to get Jack out, and Jack's got to be here. My little, Jack o' lantern mascot. So I know I've got 4 people in here. The poet, thank you for being in the chat, by the way. And I've got a question for you when I come back, but I'm going to get Jack set up, and I will be right back. All right, now I got Jack with me here. The poet, before I get started with the housekeeping stuff, I did notice that you put your screen name or your channel handle under one of my videos. It wasn't the one for the giveaway, but I was just wondering if you wanted to enter the giveaway. Because if nobody else enters it, if you want to enter, then you will get your choice of one of those 3 5 movie prize packs. And then the other 2 I'll have to do for trivia. I'll have to do a trivia contest or a caption contest or something like that. Okay, the poet. Well, here's the deal, buddy. If nobody else enters, by October 31st, you get your choice, and I'll go back over the movies, and you can pick which prize pack that you want. And like I said, to get rid of the others, I may have to do a caption contest, trivia contest, something. I'm glad that you like that idea, because I really don't think anybody else is going to. I got several subscribers. My subscriber count's still going up by a little, but nobody else is entered. You never win anything. Well, I've said that before and then won something. Or it's just been totally, out of left field, totally unexpected. But, even if I give one of the prize packs away to the poet, we will still have a couple of prize packs that I can do another little thing to give people another chance to get in on those. All right. So we've still got a couple of days worth of programming coming up. Tomorrow night, if all goes well, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern time, will be another Evil Dead Chicks Top 10. This will be top 10 kills in the entire Friday the 13th franchise. It's not counting the remake, though. It's the original franchise. And then Thursday night, also hopefully starting at 8 p.m. Eastern time, will be the rescheduled. Both of these coming up are actually rescheduled. Rescheduled, they're all messed up for Don't Open the Door and Pete Walker's Frightmare from 1974 with the Cannibal Mama on it. And we're going to be talking about all the kills in both of those movies, because that's what we do on They're All Messed Up. Thinking ahead a little bit will be another Evil Dead Chicks slumber party. This is going to be Evil Dead Chicks, A Nightmare on El Dorado Avenue slumber party. And if you didn't figure out what kind of movies we're going to be watching from that, we will be watching, hopefully together, A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original Nightmare on Elm Street, and A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. Be sure to have your stay awake pills and plenty of caffeine so that you can stay up for both movies, and also so Freddy won't get you, right? All right, so I have a ton of videos that I put up on Sunday. There's a We Watch Movies episode 5, our Halloween special that Steve and I did Sunday. There's an Ordinary Man vinyl box unboxing, kind of, for Ozzy Osbourne's Ordinary Man album. I've got an Evil Dead Chicks fast food reviews for the Wendy's Meal of Misfortune and Burger King's Halloween 2025 monster menu offerings. There's also a Pick Your Poison taste test for A&W Zero Sugar Ice Cream Sundae. And as if that wasn't enough, movie munchies for Ozzy's October Burrito. So if you haven't checked all of that out, be sure to do so. DePoe, you say, I was trying to watch Nightmare on Elm Street, The Dream Child, but it's done. Yeah, a lot of people don't care for Part 5, DePoe. And I like it okay. It's not my favorite of the series or anything like that. It probably wouldn't make it to the top of my list, but to me, it's just okay, right? So what else? I've got a poll up right now that you can vote on for the next watch along movie that will take place on Saturday, November 8th. So the choices are Blood Rage from 1987, Home Sweet Home, and the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974, which is in the lead right now. There have been 18 votes, so if you want to get your vote in, be sure to do that as soon as you can, right? So before I go into the Goose and Trivia for Trick or Treat from 1986, I just want to remind, hey, Illuminated, how are you? We're getting ready to talk about horror movie rewind for the 1986 rock horror film Trick or Treat. We're going to be talking about some Goofs and Trivia from that film. But before that, I want to remind everybody that there are several different ways that you can support me and the channel that won't cost you a dime. One of them is by subscribing. If you've been dancing around whether you should subscribe or not, hey, just take the plunge and subscribe. We've got lots of really cool content out right now. We got more to come. Hey, Gory Tiger. And another way is to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the new content I've got coming out. Hit the like button on anything that you particularly like. If you liked it all, heck, hit that like button all across the board. And here's yet another way that you can support me and the channel, and it won't cost you a dime. It won't cost anybody that you tell about my channel a dime. And that's to share with friends and family members that you think might enjoy the content that I've got coming out. Sharing my channel handle with them. And I'll do y'all a solid. And I will actually put the channel handle at Deadites on Deck. Thank you, Illuminated, for liking and subscribing as well. I appreciate all of that. And I still appreciate, super chats, super stickers, people joining the channel, people joining my Patreon. But I also realized that, especially in this day and age, not everybody's made out of money, right? So I always like to tell you about the free ways as well, because it all helps. All right. So let's get to, let's start getting to this, hey, Justin. Let's get to our Goofs and Trivia for Trick or Treat from 1986. So after removing her bra, Jeannie, the character of Jeannie, after removing her bra straps reappear and disappear while she's listening to the peace offering tape, which is, that's interesting. When Eddie's mom picks up some of his records, the top record cover changes. When she comes in there and she brings his laundry and she's kind of, going through all of these, she's going through all of these albums that he's got, and she's just kind of a little bit unnerved about that, right? So one of the others is when Leslie is outside the radio station near the end of the movie, she starts counting 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, etc. By the time she reaches the teens, she's just dropped the Mississippi. The next number she recites are in the low 40s. And the next time she is shown, she's at 56 and 57. And the last time she's shown counting before 90, she's back to 26 and 27. So that's kind of humorous to me. When Eddie's mom is in his room trying to turn off the stereo, she lowers every equalizer. And then when she leaves the room, all of the settings are back the way they were. The spilled Pepsi on the record disappears when Eddie smashes up the stereo. Leslie is shown at the Halloween dance in a costume that includes a backless halter top with straps that cross around her neck, leaving her shoulders bare and making it impossible to wear a conventional bra underneath. However, after she goes to the bathroom to adjust her costume, she is seen wearing a standard bra with shoulder straps and band across her upper back, all of which would have been visible in her costume. I didn't even think about that one. When Eddie leaves the car that almost went off the drawbridge, one can easily see a jack holding up the back of the car. When an LP is played, the grooves in the vinyl rotate in a clockwise direction, which causes the stylus to travel from the outer edge of the record to the center. When Eddie is recording Sammy's album to cassette tape at high speed, the record is rotating counterclockwise, yet the needle is still traveling towards the center. If the record was turning counterclockwise, the needle would not do this. It would simply move in the opposite direction and fall off the outer edge. I guess I never pay as much attention when I'm playing my records. Ozzy Osbourne's tattoos on his left hand, where it spells out Ozzy, O-Z-Z-Y, were not covered up for his cameo appearance. This is a bit weird to have this kind of tattoo as a televangelist. And as many times, honestly, folks, as I've watched Trick or Treat, I never noticed that Ozzy's name on his fingers or his knuckles was showing. And you would have thought that I would have seen that. The movements of Sammy's lips when he is singing in front of the whole school sometimes don't match the Fastway song heard, revealing that the actor is actually lip syncing. I don't know how many of y'all watch that closely. In the scene where Eddie is doing his laundry and watching a news report, there's a 5-second shot of the TV screen he is looking at. At the left-hand side of the screen, a reflection of the film crew is visible. You can definitely see this. I saw this real clearly the other night when I was watching it. A red boom mic is clearly visible during the scene when Eddie's mom is going out of the door to a Halloween party with Stan. Okay, so now let's get to some trivia about Trick or Treat. There wasn't a whole lot of goose. Wasp frontman Blackie Lawless confirmed he was offered the part of Sammy Kerr, but declined because he didn't like the script. I guess he was picky. All songs in the movie are written by the band Fastway, which consisted of former Motorhead guitarist Fast Eddie Clarke and Pete Way of UFO, as well as current Flogging Molly vocalist Dave King and British session drummer Jerry Shirley. So if you ever wanted to know what the band Fastway was made up of, who it was made up of. At one point, Eddie, played by Mark Price, wears an alternative Tentacles shirt. This was a punk label founded in 1979 by Jello Biafra of the Dead Kennedys. Getting a little musical trivia here. Eddie's best friend Roger is played by Glenn Morgan in his only acting role. He went on to be a prolific writer, producer, and director. During the Halloween party scenes, extras can be seen wearing Billy Bob, Broccoli, and Chuck E. Cheese mascot costumes from Showbiz Pizza Place and Chuck E. Cheese's. The title of Sammy Kerr's album, Songs in the Key of Death, is a parody of the title of Stevie Wonder's album, Songs in the Key of Life. I did not know that one either. Fans of Ozzy Osbourne got wind that he was filming in Wilmington, North Carolina, and a huge crowd formed in the studio where they were filming his scenes. Osbourne came out of his trailer in his costume and was so unrecognizable that the crowd didn't know it was him and thought it was another actor. He had a good laugh about it. And I think Ozzy had a really good sense of humor, so he probably did. Ozzy Osbourne agreed to do the role of the televangelist we see on Eddie's TV after reading the script and thinking it was a fun idea. Costume designer Jill O'Hanson had to go to J.C. Penney's to get him a blue leisure suit for the role because I'm entirely sure that Ozzy Osbourne did not have any leisure suits in his wardrobe. Director Charles Martin Smith loved his performance. A directorial debut of actor Charles Martin Smith. Glenn Morgan, who would go on to write for The X-Files and would create the Final Destination franchise with co-writer and partner James Wong, did uncredited rewrites to the script. Gene Simmons did not want to take the role of the Sammi Curr character, and in fact had read the script and threw it in a pile of scripts that he was not interested in doing. His agent made the mistake of reading the script for Trick or Treat, thinking Simmons would do it as he thought it was candy. It tastes sweet and then goes away, and negotiated the deal for the radio station manager, Nuke, which interested him a lot, and would make it a tribute to DJ Wolfman Jack. Mark Price was the first and only choice for the role of Eddie Weinbauer after the producers saw his work on Family Ties and were surprised at how good he really was as a comedic actor. All right. So I think we've got a few more things here. Yeah. So Blackie Lawless of Wasp turned down the role of Sammi Curr because he disliked the script and also on advice from director Penelope Spheris. The film had been hard to find on physical formats over the years. It was the first released on video cassette in 1987 under Lorimar Home Video banner, followed by a 2002 video release in the United States as a budget DVD from Platinum Disc. Synapse Films eventually released a special limited edition 3-disc 4K Blu-ray and standard Blu-ray set, which includes the film's Columbia Records soundtrack from 1986, which marks the first time it has appeared officially in a much larger capacity. The film's original director was Penelope Spheris, but she dropped out during pre-production due to creative differences with the studio. Anchor Bay had originally planned to release a 2-disc special edition of the film in 2006, its 20th anniversary, but last-minute complaints from the band Fastways record label resulted in Anchor Bay canceling said release. Hack and Slash Shout at the Devil by Tim Seeley, Emily Stone, and co-features a pastiche on Sammi Curr, inspired by other heavy metal horror movies outside of Trick or Treat, such as Terror on Tour, Black Roses, etc. These films are even referenced in the comics fictional band Acid Wash playlist. Eddie has several posters of rock musicians in his room, including Ozzy Osbourne and Kiss. Ozzy Osbourne played the Reverend Aaron Gilstrom in the movie, while Gene Simmons, bass player for Kiss, played the radio DJ Nuke. Glenn Morgan was not the first choice to be Mark Price's friend in the film. He was pretty much forced to play the role after doing rewrites on the screenplay with James Wong at the time. Charles Martin Smith and the producers were pleasantly surprised at his acting ability and added more depth to the role. The film had a very quick post-production period to meet the film's October 1986 release date after filming had wrapped in June of only 3 months. While the film was being made at the DEG Studios in Wilmington, King Kong Lives was also being filmed on an adjacent set, and the actors and crews from both films interacted with one another. The film's stunt coordinator, Dan Bradley, taught Mark Price how to stunt drive for his scenes in the film. Kevin Yeager was hired to do the special effects on the film after Joel Swisson had worked with him on Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, the year before. The film's Wilmington, North Carolina locale was incorporated into the script since director Charles Martin Smith wanted the film to be authentic. Americana, as the scenes in the high school were shot on location in a real high school. For the film's rock soundtrack, the producers wanted AC/DC to do the songs for the film, but were unavailable due to recording the music for Maximum Overdrive, which was also for DEG and released in July of 1986. Tony Fields, who played Sammy Kerr, unfortunately died of complications of AIDS several years after this film was made. Rusty Anderson, who would go on to play with Paul McCartney, would play the electric rock guitar on the score written by Christopher Young, which was percussion-based. To get the part, Tony Fields appeared as Sammy Kerr would look in the film without the burn scars, which impressed the casting director, David Kahn, and director Charles Martin Smith. Also, there was a deleted scene where Eddie has a fantasy where he is a Conan type character with Leslie worshiping him as a hero. The scene was completely cut for budget, but stills from it ended up in Fangoria magazine. The scene was a setup for Eddie's infatuation with Leslie as a romantic interest, which is seen in bits and parts in the film. The creature that appears in the car as Jeannie is listening to the Sammy Kerr tape on her Walkman is named Skeesix, which is not mentioned in any way and appears a lot longer in the film's trailer than the film itself. The creature was created by Kevin Yeager with future creature effects star Alec Gillis, who would work with Tom Woodruff Jr. soon after doing the sculpts and puppet design work. And a little bit more about Gene Simmons' cameo. Gene Simmons, Kiss co-founder and bassist, was offered the role of Sammy Kerr, but he opted for the cameo role of Eddie's friend, rock DJ Nuke, instead. Simmons claimed that he did this as a tribute to famous rock DJ Wolfman Jack, his childhood idol. Ironically, Wolfman Jack was most famous for American Graffiti that starred this movie's director, Charles Martin Smith. So, talk about 6 degrees of separation, right? So, that is officially the end of Goofs and Trivia for Trick or Treat 1986. So I hope that you guys, and if there were any gals in here, enjoyed this little rundown on the Goofs and Trivia for the film. I had a lot of fun, as always, looking this stuff up so I can give you guys a bird's eye view of Goofs and Trivia from some of your favorite horror films. So I guess that is it for me, from me for tonight. As always, I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get off up here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday night, folks. We've got more programming coming up Wednesday and Thursday. Won't be any programming unless I do kind of like a Halloween special, like vlog type of thing like I did last year. But won't be any standard programming for Friday because that is Halloween and I'll be handing out candy to the little trick-or-treaters. But if you love Ozzy as much as I do, get out there and blast some Ozzy and try your best to live the Ozzy way. And what do I mean by that? Don't stay stuck in the past, folks. Move forward from the present into the future, but don't worry about what the future is going to bring as well. And don't ever, ever give up on your dreams. Have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday night, folks. I'm out of here for now, but I'll see everybody next time.